Alright nerds, we're back for another beer review, and thanks to Westminster Liquor in Lethbridge, Alberta. We'll talk about them in a bit. It is a beer I've been looking forward to trying. Night Kitchen Imperial S'mores Pastry Stout from Cabin Brewing in Calgary, Alberta. Now this bad boy is a big thick beer. It comes in at 9%. 9%. 1 pint, 473 milliliter can. I have a feeling the beer will be about as dark as this label. Let's get right into that and give this a whirl. Cabin Brewing in Calgary, Alberta. Definitely one of the top breweries around. Let's pour this. Oh yeah, it's pouring nice and thick. It feels heavy. It feels heavy as it pours. It feels viscous and thick, like pouring oil. And look at that, it looks like it. Thick, dark, lots of carbonation. Ba-bam, almost 2 finger tan head on that. As you would expect, it should have, according to their description, marshmallow, cocoa, hazelnut, and graham cracker in the flavor. So we're gonna see how true that is. Cabin Brewing's a little hard to get sometimes in Lethbridge. But now Westminster's starting to carry them. So Cabin Brewing, if you're watching this, talk to new, get all your selection in there. Super saturation, absolutely one of the best beers brewed in Alberta. If you checked out my blind bag beer review this week, I tried it and it was delicious. We had a little bit of cabin in it. So 2 cabins in a row this week. Whew, look at that. Alright, so, as I said, super dark, tan whitehead that did disappear as we went. If you remember, that was over 2 fingers tall. So big bubbles in that, just absolutely bursting away. Everything it's purported to be. Tons of nut and hazelnut. Cocoa, crackery, biscuity. You can smell the lactose in it, as weird as it sounds. So it has a milky marshmallowy undertone to the whole thing that makes it super soft. Yeah, you can definitely smell the marshmallow in it. It does have lactose in it. So if you're lactose intolerant, beware of this beer. Pastry Stout's generally a bit sweeter, so it's going to have cinnamon, nutmeg, other baking spices. That's kind of the difference between kind of like a normal stout and a pastry stout. A pastry stout will have baking ingredients in it, so spices and whatnot. Unlike other ones we've tried that have a whole cake, a whole wedding cake into the mash. But it's going to take elements from like marshmallows and nuts, cinnamon, nutmeg, the sugary lactose, that kind of stuff into it. So it'll be a bit sweeter version of a stout. Yeah, as it warms up, there's 2 elements, marshmallows and hazelnut. And you get them both. So let's give this Night Kitchen a whirl. Cheers. Very milky. Super creamy. You get a lot of like baking sugar in it. Hazelnut really at the back. Wow, just overwhelming strength of hazelnut at the back end of the flavor. But the front end, you get a lot of softness from the spices, marshmallowy, very crackery, like graham cracker sweetness. So everything they've said is actually true. Whether that's a bias or not, I'll let you decide. But you definitely get a lot, and this creaminess through the whole thing. So lactose really adds the mouthfeel, adds a smoothness that cuts everything. And it does have enough of that like espresso bitterness, baking chocolate bitterness, that stout bitterness through the whole thing. as well. So it's not just pure sweetness and pure sugar and pure spice. You do get the bitterness. But of course, it's s'mores. It's a s'mores pastry stout. So first thing is it's very sweet. Very sweet, nutty, baking chocolate. All that they're going to have in a stout, in a s'mores pastry. Lactose really, it adds a neat, like, I think having the lactose in there adds elements of the flakiness of a pastry. Does that make sense? So like in a pastry, the flakiness from the leveling of the dough, the gluten kind of separating, all that, that's what you get. And it's weird. Pastry stouts are so weird. So weird. It's, people kind of take it for granted. It's like, oh, it's a stout, I'll just drink it. It's like having a really, really out there IPA or sour, where it's like, what am I drinking right now? It's so realistic, if that makes sense. It is so, it takes the elements of a pastry, deconstructs them, and puts them into liquid form. So very like high-end kitchen stuff where they will deconstruct something and it still tastes like that food. So they take the elements, split them apart onto a plate, revamp them. They don't put them all together. And it tastes like that. So the pastry stouts often, good pastry stouts like this one, like the one I had from Town Square Brewing, the White Wedding one, they're able to separate those pieces of a pastry, we'll say in this case. So spices, and this is s'more, so spices, marshmallow, the crackery sweetness, that kind of graham cracker sweetness, the milk out of it, the sugar out of it, but none of it's impalatable. It's all super delicious, and you get every little piece, and by the end you're like, yeah, you know what, I got s'mores and I got pastry out of that. And that's what Night Kitchen here from Cabin Brewing in Calgary is doing really, really, really well. They're separating the pieces, but you get it all together. A, because it's liquid, and B, because obviously they're trying to do that. But nothing's too cloying. It's not cloying sweetness. It's not overly sour milkiness. It's not too astringent chocolate. It's not too nutty. It's not chewy or grainy like sugar can be. Even like, sometimes the flavor reminds you of a texture, and you get that. I had a chili stout once, or chili drink. It was a chili beer. I think it was Rogue. And I tasted it. It was so bad. It was like weird. The spice was so weird that it reminded me of a bowl of chili instead of the essence of a chili, the flavor. That in my mind translated to my palate that I was drinking a bowl of chili, and it was so bad. This is doing the same thing, but opposite. My brain is telling me I'm eating a pastry. My brain is telling me I'm having marshmallows. My brain is kind of telling me that sugar has a granularity to it. So you're getting all that in here. And it makes for a fantastic beer. And it is 9%, so a little bit of sweetness from the booze too. Let's take another and let's see if I actually, now that I've talked about it so much, let's see what my brain is telling my palate. Yeah, so I'm getting more booziness. It is warming up because I'm talking a lot. So it is warming up. I'm getting that booziness, that sweet ethanol-y flavor from the booze at 9%. You're definitely going to get that. And it's like a bourbon-y, smooth whiskey kind of booze, which is beautiful. So Night Kitchen from Cabin Brewing in Calgary. There's nothing else on the can. Usually I like reading them, but there's nothing on here. Excellent version of a pastry stout, which is like the new milkshake IPA. of the season. It just seems there's so many of these pastry stouts out there, and I don't know why. So check them out, check this beer out, and check us out all the other videos we have. Also as well on social media at Fermented Nerds. So you can find us there on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course YouTube, where you're watching now. Give us a big thumbs up if you like the video. Hit that little thumbs up right there. As well, subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends if they don't know about this channel. And if you want notifications when we post videos, which is going to be more and more now that the Christmas break is over and the Advent calendar is over, we'll be posting more and more. So hit the bell button if you want subscribes. And as well, comment below and comment on all our social media. Tell breweries you want to see them live. We're trying to hook some up. Some live videos if you haven't seen them already. OGs, Fermented Wives. We got a whole bunch of shows on channel developing. And that's really cool to see. So different content. Fermented Wives is the wives of the channel. All on drinking beer, chatting. You have the OGs, Kyle, Dave, Wally on there. Talking about beer, talking about our friendship. Talking about travels. But really focused on beer. So check us out. We try and do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday every week. If you like all this, please let us know. Blah, 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 blah. I've said everything I need to say. So I'm going to finish this beautiful, beautiful beer. This is Wally, and I am out.